everyone. So I thought I would just do a very quick review, possibly slash demo of a couple of products that I've been using a lot of. One of them I mentioned in a recent Best and Worst of Beauty, which is this one from Bourjois. It's their Magic Nail Polish Remover. And the other product I want to talk about is this much talked about, I feel, in the beauty community, Top Coat from Seche Vite. So hopefully this will be an informative, maybe fairly quick little video. We'll see. I don't usually do quick videos. Fingers crossed. I have no idea how long this is going to be. I'm going to stop rambling now. I've got this gorgeous yellow nail varnish on today. This is my attempt at trying to find something, a dupe if you will, although I don't know if it is a dupe because I've never owned it. This is my cheaper budget version of the Smith & Colt B-side nail polish, which is gorgeous, but it's the best part of £20. And yeah, the bottles are gorgeous, but it's this one here from Lottie, and it's in the colour,
is it gonna tell me?
Daydreamer. That's a nice name. Daydreamer. So got a bit of a yellow vibe going on today. Yellow is one of my favourite colours, if not my favourite colour, but a very specific yellow. This is how my videos end up really long, because I just end up going off on little tangents. So anyway, this is what's on my nails, if anyone's wondering. One of them smudged, totally my fault, so I thought that is the perfect opportunity to not only demo this for you, which I couldn't do in my Best and Worst of Beauty video because I had a very pale polish on and it wouldn't have shown up, and also this because I'll reapply and show you about this. So first things first, have a bit of a shake up of this because there is, don't know if you can hear that, there is nail polish in there as well as a big sponge, so give it a bit of a shake. I don't always do that, don't always have to. I won't tip it up because all of the nail polish will come out, and yes, I've done that before with a previous bottle. There's a little hole inside for your finger to go in, and one of the big benefits I said of this is the fact that if you've messed up one nail, like I have, then you can literally pop it in. Now, it's not going to be 1 second. We'll do 1 second and I'll show you. Right, let's just check the instructions. Let's make sure. All you need to do is dip each finger into the sponge, twist and remove. Nail polish is instantly removed without the need for cotton wool. Right, usually I put my finger in and I twizzle for a good few seconds, but just for the sake of science and their claims, we will try 1 second. Are you ready for this? Can you guess what song I'm now playing in my head that I probably can't sing out loud because of copyright, but you ready for this? Anyway, in we go. 1 Mississippi. Doesn't look like it's done anything. That is how you count to 1 second, isn't it? 1 Mississippi, that's a second. This stuff is really good, honestly. Right. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. So you can see it's started to come off now. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. That has pretty much all come off now. So you can see, I guess they've called it 1 second for marketing purposes, not necessarily true. Although I do have base coat, 2 coats of colour and a top coat, so I suppose it's fair enough. If you had 1 coat of polish on, this will work. I've tried it with 1 coat and it does take it off. So maybe there's a slight caveat to the 1 second thing. I'm just going to give it 1 more twizzle for luck. I never usually count anyway. I literally sit there and sort of shove my finger in and out until it's all clean. So there we go. Like I said in my Best and Worst of Beauty video about this, the one thing that I'm not amazingly keen on is the fact that it does leave a bit of like a residue. So I usually like to wash my hands, but I won't do that today. I will resist. I'm just going to grab my usual base coat which is my beloved Original Strength Nail Envy from OPI. So I'm just going to quickly pop that on now, see if I can do this on camera. So that's the base coat going on. It's probably worth now mentioning, as we've got to this point, talking about Seche Vite. Now, top coats and me, I don't really know much about them. I did recently love this. This is also from Lottie. They had an offer on. This is their So Gel top coat, which is lovely. I really like it. The only thing I don't like about it is the fact that it peels quite badly. It looks really nice. It leaves a really high gloss look, I suppose like a gel to your nails, but they do peel and it's quite frustrating. So when I heard all the amazing stuff about this Seche Vite one, I thought, well, let's give it a go, because it's actually really cheap. I think I picked this up from Amazon for about £6, and compared to how much you can spend on nail stuff, I didn't think that was too bad, really. So one thing that's worth mentioning with this is the smell. It's like no other nail polish I've ever smelt before. It's so pungent, it's so strong. I kind of likened it the first time I used it, and I tend to do my nails in the evening when we're watching TV. There you go, said it. And I was doing my nails, and I took the lid off this, and I just sort of went, oh my god, it's like and the first thing that came to mind was boat varnish. I don't know where that came from, some kind of memory from my childhood, I don't know, but boat varnish. It's unbelievably strong smelling, which led me to be a bit concerned. So I started to look into this a bit more, and I actually found out that there was a thing a little while back about there being a warning on the back of this, and when I found this out, I raced to pick up my bottle to see if it said anything about this, and it doesn't. But on some bottles, and I don't know if they've changed the formulation or whatever, but it said something about it can cause birth defects, which sounds absolutely terrifying. I've only been using this recently, so obviously not whilst I was pregnant. I've only just discovered it. But I can assure you that on my bottle, I've got some German, there's a warning there. In fact, most of what's written on the back is a warning in various different languages, and the one in English just says, warning, flammable. I mean, things that smell like this are bound to be flammable. Keep away from sources of ignition, keep out of reach of children, to be used by adults only. And that's all it says. I mean, it says where it was made. I don't know whether that was an old thing and I just found some old news about it, or yeah, I don't really know much about it, so it did freak me out a little bit. But there was a comment on one of the things I saw from someone who claimed to be a chemist, and they said it's really not that much to worry about. It's just that they have to put that because of the types of chemicals that they put in there, because of how quickly it dries. I mean, that's still not very reassuring. So yeah, I'm a bit hesitant about this at the moment. I think I need to look into it a bit more. Anyway, I'm rambling again. That's the base coat dry now, so I'm going to put 2 coats of my Lottie Daydreamer on top. I mean, it's up to you. If you want to give the Seche Vite a go based on how you think it goes on in a second, then, you know, that's up to you really. But all I can tell you is, on my bottle, it doesn't say anything on there about birth defects. What I might do, note to future Kate, maybe Google Seche Vite's website and see if there's anything on there. Okay, so following on from this, just to give you a bit of information on what I could find out on Google, I found a really helpful article. It was actually the first thing that came up when I Googled the issue around birth defects, and it's from exovein.com. I will put a link to this article in the description box, and the article is Seche Vite Top Coat safe to use? A cosmetic chemist's take on the cult favourite. So just to read a small excerpt from the article. A quick glance at the back of the Seche Vite bottle and we see a Proposition 65 warning. For those of you not familiar with the California law, Proposition 65 was enacted after a 1986 ballot initiative, Safe Drinking Water and Toxic Enforcement Act of 1986. The proposition was intended by its authors to protect California citizens and the state's drinking water sources from chemicals known to cause cancer, birth defects, or other reproductive harm, and to inform citizens about exposures to such chemicals. The last part, inform citizens about exposures to such chemicals, is what applies to your cosmetics. So that's just a little excerpt from the article, which, like I said, I'll link down below because it's actually a really interesting article full of lots of information from that chemist. One thing to take away from this whole thing is obviously the reason why I don't have the Proposition 65 disclaimer on my bottle is I don't live in the States, I don't live in California, so that law doesn't actually apply to me living in the UK. So your bottle may be different depending on where you've bought it. I think it's like anything in life, it's worth looking into what we're putting on our skin, what we eat, those kind of things, as much as you personally want to. It's a very personal thing. It did freak me out a little bit in terms of the smell, and that's what made me start looking into it, because it is a very strong smell and it just makes you a little bit paranoid as to what chemicals are in there. So I think that's been a little bit of a lesson for me there in terms of products that I'm actually using. In terms of whether I will continue to use it, I think I probably will, just based on the information that's in the rest of that article. At the end of the day, that's quite an alarming thing to write on any product, because even if you aren't in the territory of having children or anything, if something can potentially cause birth defects, then your mind kind of wonders, well, what else can it do? One thing I did hear about this, because of how good it is you don't actually have to wait for your coats to dry. So I'm going to test that. That's been drying for not very long at all, just a few seconds. So I'm just going to go in with a second coat, because it does go on a little bit sheer. I like the colour to be a bit more opaque, like that. And I think we will literally put the Seche Vite on as soon as I've managed to get this lid on that one. And we'll test the claim of, because I always just wait for each coat to dry, but hey, struggling to get the lid off now. If something is going to, you know, cut out all of that waiting, then great. Here we go. So I've not waited for the other coats to dry down at all, really. I've just given it a couple of seconds as it's taken me to put the lids on and off things again. So there we go, that's the top coat gone on. It's gone on quite nice. Another thing I found out about Seche Vite when I was looking into it is, as much as people rave about it, sometimes it can do that thing, like I mentioned with the Lottie So Gel top coat, is that it can peel, but the way to stop that from happening is to not completely go over each layer exactly the same. So what I mean by that is, when you use the top coat, don't go right up to the edge of your nail, because then it kind of, I don't know what the technical term is for this, but it just kind of, the layers of the polish that you've used kind of all fuse together and peel off, whereas if you leave a bit of a gap, it stops that from happening, apparently. So that's another tip. And now we wait, and for your viewing comfort, I will probably speed through this section. Okay, so I thought it was worth going to Seche Vite's website just to read out to you what they claim about this top coat. They're saying it's a fast dry top coat which is widely acknowledged as the world's finest top coat, especially formulated to penetrate through nail lacquer to the base coat, forming a single solid coating over the nail plate and for a much more durable finish, guaranteed not to yellow whilst leaving nails silky, stronger and resistant to chipping and peeling. So you can see why that fusion kind of peeling thing happens if you do put the top coat right up to the edge of your nail, because it's fusing all of those things together that you've got underneath there. So if you do leave a gap, hopefully it should help do that. It has happened to me though, only the once.
In terms of how it's performed against other top coats that I've not used that many, but it definitely performs the best out of the lot. And for the fact that you can get it for just under £6 from Amazon at the moment, I think is a pretty good price too, so it's definitely worth trying.
Can you tell that I have a thing about yellow? And this is my absolute favourite top ever, and I wish when I'd bought it I'd have bought more than one and just kept one in pristine condition, because I just love it so much, and it's starting to look a little bit sad now, but it's my favourite. This is like the perfect yellow to me. It's just a nice mellow yellow. I like yellow, but I don't like anything too bright, just something quite nice. This kind of yellow. This yellow, this exact yellow. I'm talking utter crap right now, aren't I? Okay. It's very nervously touching that to my lip then. I don't know if that's the universal test to see if nail polish is dry, but that's what I do. I don't know what anyone else does, but I feel like it's the least likely to cause issues way of doing things. That is dry. How dry it is, you know, when it pretends to be dry, and then this usually happens, to me at least, because I do my nails in the evening. I'll go to bed and I'll wake up and I'll have like bed imprint on my nails, which is just lovely. But yeah, it's dry. I will let you know on the screen if I have any issues with how that's dried, because like I said, is it dry? Is it really dry before I go do anything? So there we go. Hopefully I've managed to edit this in a way that it seems much shorter than how long I've been talking, because I feel like I've just had verbal diarrhea or something. So I hope that video was useful and interesting for you. If it was, please give me a thumbs up down below. I'd really appreciate it, and I will see you again soon. Bye! Wow, that's loads better. It was accentuating my pores really badly on my nose, but actually kind of mushing it around. I guess you're just pushing the product in a lot more. I'm aware of how stupid this probably